Hi guys, I'm Amanda, pro bikini athlete and women's physique and competition prep coach.
And I'm Sandra, pro bikini athlete and women's health and physique coach.
And together, we're bringing you In Between Sets Unfiltered.
Combining real athlete experience, coaching expertise, and unfiltered conversations the women's fitness industry needs more of. All right, guys, welcome back. We are back for episode 3.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
It gets a bit confusing, hey, because we do the YouTubes.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So this is going to be a part 2 episode.
Segment.
Yeah, leading on to what we spoke about in the last episode about fat loss. We're going to talk about keeping the fat off today and why most women tend to rebound after a diet.
Yeah, it's probably like the biggest problem. Everyone always loses the fat, but I always say like we don't have a fat loss problem. We have a weight maintenance problem.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think that's the biggest thing. And I've had so many girls that have come to me where like, yeah, I've lost all this weight, but I've put it all back, but 10 times harder. And as we spoke about in the last potty ep, why people do rebound. And this episode is to give you pretty much everything you need in regards to ensure you're not rebounding. But I think before going really hard into that, we'll do a bit of an update, see how we're all been going. What's been going on in your life, girl?
I am a new mum.
Oh, yes. This is exciting.
I'm a puppy mum. I'm doing this on like 3 hours sleep today because I have just got a new puppy. And that is like the most exciting thing in my life right now. His name is Bentley. He is adorable and he's been keeping Stu and I awake all night.
Yeah, it's tough having a puppy at the start, man. There are a lot of fucking work.
Yeah,
literally.
I could not imagine a human child.
I know. I'm like, fuck, I'm not far from one day doing that.
Yep, literally. So, yeah, and I've just started my deficit a few weeks ago. So we're doing a small tidy up phase, take off some of the little bit of extra fluff that I put on post-show. So that's going well. 2 centimeters off the waist, just starting to feel like I look like myself again.
Yeah.
Which has been good.
And you've lost 2 centimeters off the waist. What's the weight drop look like so far?
Not much of a weight drop. Yeah, not much of a weight drop. So I've only lost about 500 grams on the scales, but my measurements have dropped.
Yeah.
And that kind of, once again, like reinforces the idea that the scale does not give the full picture. And Amanda and I were talking about this on the way as well. And I even failed to realize that I'm probably building muscle again.
Exactly what I said to Sandra, like, you know, when you go into prep, you lose a lot of muscle, right? So when you come back out of it, and especially once you get back to a position where, you know, your hormonal profile's probably starting to settle, that for Sandra's situation right now, she's trying to chip back a little bit of body fat. What can happen is, okay, you probably start losing some body fat. You already mentioned you've already lost a couple of centimeters, but the scale hasn't dropped that much down. What we can often see is that we do get a bit of body recomposition here, that you're actually probably putting that muscle growth on that you had lost. Like, would you say at the moment you're starting to get strength? Is your numbers going back up in the gym at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm pretty much back to like pre-prep weights
Yeah.
in the gym.
It's probably like restoring a lot of that muscle tissue as well. And that's probably in the sense where it's like you've actually probably lost, like, if you weren't to have been someone that had lost that muscle and now regaining it back, you probably would find that you would have actually had a bigger drop, especially if you were, say, in a build phase, you didn't do the prep where you had lost that tissue and you go into a fat, you would have seen a probably much bigger initial drop, right?
Yeah.
So this is where literally what Sandra said, not just focusing on the scale, it's so important and it's context dependent. Like for Sandra's situation, it makes total sense, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. And visually, I can see the differences as well. Even like the muscle coming back on, I can see that definition through my back again. I feel like my glutes are filled out again. My fat distribution has started to change. So I'm losing like that fat that was all kind of stored centrally. It's going back to its normal places. So nearly 6 months post-show now. So yeah, this is when
it's gone quick.
I know it has gone quick.
Yeah.
It's been a roller coaster, that's for sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is usually the time where everything does start to kind of settle and go back to normal. So
yeah, I was about saying it was about 6 months and everything just starts to feel good again. You get past, you stop being so resistant to letting go of shreds. You realize that that's, you know, you're not tying so much worth to it anymore and you're actually starting to welcome back a more healthier, a more softer, essentially healthier feminine physique. You know, when you go into the shreds, you essentially look crazy, right?
Yeah.
And there is a sense where you look unwell, essentially me right now. I look very sunken in my face and that was probably the biggest shift I've noticed in myself this fortnight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird because to us, we put, say, 5 kilos on post-show at initially at the start. You would have felt when you put 5 kilos and you probably felt like a fat cunt, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But to other people, you are still like their dream body.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's
And
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy because you get body dysmorphia.
You really
and
do.
you can say that you don't have body dysmorphia, but you do, because even me now, like if I say look at a photo from me at the start of my prep, I'm like, whoa, fucking gorilla. But when I looked at those photos before I was as shredded as I now, I was like, fuck, I look really good.
Yeah,
You know what
I
mean?
literally had the same conversation with my
Yes.
sister.
And nothing's changed in those photos, more so just the perception because of how lean I
Yes.
look now. And that's the thing as well. If I was to say get where I am now within my prep and then put the start of my prep, the photos next to each other, so many of you guys were, whoa, fucking gorilla, right? Because you're seeing how I am now compared to that, which is crazy. But if you had never seen how I am now compared, you'd be like, wow, she looks really good, right? This is the thing. We all have that little bit of a perception when we see something like, oh, wow, no, you're actually a lot bigger than what we thought you were. No, only because you've seen me shredded.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, have the body dysmorphia, but have self-awareness around it and have an understanding that you know it's clapped and you know that it's warped. And essentially no one else is like the way you probably felt and saw yourself gaining back the weight post-show.
Oh, yeah.
No one else thinking that.
Yeah, I thought I looked so fucked up. I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
I thought I rebounded so hard. Like, girl, you were like 3 kilos up.
Yeah.
But in the mirror, I look in the mirror and it felt like I gained 20 kilos. Like, it's crazy how your brain perceives you. Once you've seen yourself that lean in that state, once you put a couple of kilos back on, plus taking into account like inflammation, water retention.
You feel
all of these
bloated,
things.
and naturally feelings of bloatingness. What's the word?
Like associate. Yeah.
We associate the feeling of bloatiness that, oh, we look shit.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you were to still look that way but you didn't have the bloatiness, you probably wouldn't actually think you feel like a fat cunt.
Yeah,
right?
literally.
So this is another thing as well, because I'll get clients all the time like, oh, I feel so like fat. And I'm like, oh, do you feeling bloated? Like, yeah. I'm like, okay, like you're bloated. Stop looking at yourself and pick yourself apart when you're bloated in the mirror.
Exactly.
Right? Like, it's not a good time to do that.
Yeah.
That's normal. Anyone's going to be like that. Doesn't mean you're fucking blown out.
You don't look at your physique at the end of the day.
No.
after
Oh my God,
fucking 4
girls.
meals.
Clients, like, I weighed myself that like at the end of the day, I was like, why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
Probably like 2 kilos heavier. Why would you do that?
Exactly.
So I don't give a fuck what you weigh before you get a bacon.
Exactly. I tell all my clients, weigh yourself first thing in the morning, fasted after you've gone to the toilet.
Yeah. And if you can't go to the toilet, well, that's what it is. Like, yeah, 100%.
That just reminds me, this is so fucking random and off topic, but I remember so many times in prep where I would wake up and like step on the scale and I'm like, okay, that's weird. It hasn't changed much. And then I'd go to the toilet and like take a shit and then go back on the scale. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it slows down as well. Like I'm at a point where, you know, some days I go every day, maybe some day every 2 days. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
And you see the difference on the scale.
You do see the difference. And it's the feeling like I could say to me, like now to all of you, say one day I haven't fucking gone 2 days, I'm still waiting. I'll feel bloated as shit. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so bloated. Everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, but the feelings of bloatingness, that it's uncomfortable, right? And we can, even though my stomach is only pushed out, you know, like a couple centimeters, I'm like, oh my God.
You feel it.
Yeah, you feel it, man. But yeah, it's crazy. It's been 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah.
I know. And what, in 6 months, so what has it been now for me? 18 weeks in prep now.
Time flies.
Yeah. So we are, what's that? I don't even know, 4.5 months now. And yeah, for me now, I guess updates since you guys have seen me or spoken to me last being in this room. What are we? Probably like, I would say I'm probably a couple kilos down since everyone's seen me. Before this episode, but at the last one, I felt like my face was in a nice full looking spot. The last week and a bit, in the last 5 days, I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, I am not looking good in the face. And to be fair, I haven't been feeling great as well. It's been a hard week. It's been a really hard week. And I had my period come earlier last week, which I knew it was going to come. I wasn't expecting anything crazy, but it came. It came for 3 days. Usually I'm a 5-day girl. It was very, very light. But to have had my period at 59 kilos.
Amazing.
Where last prep I lost it at 62, and I'm heck more leaner at this 59 as well, like with the extra muscle. Really happy with that. But you know what was really funny? One thing I noticed, so after that period was gone, pretty much that's when the prep, I really started to feel the prep. And obviously my period it was a pathetic period. And my face started to sink in after that period, the energy, like everything, like feeling all the trench
It took
vibes.
it out of you.
Yes.
It took it out of your body.
And essentially, when we go through the process of reds, so when your body is essentially telling you not healthy enough to have your period, that's when you pretty much start to look unhealthy. And I just thought it was so funny how all that happened at the same time when the period was gone. I started seeing my face sunk in. I started feeling like shit when that period went. I don't think it's coming again.
Yeah.
It's really intense, but I'm in the trenches now. But all in all, felt hunger a lot higher this last fortnight, but still no food noise. I haven't had any food noise this prep where I'm thinking about food, which has been really nice, which is exciting because I'm coming close to the end of this. I don't have long left. So I'm really hopeful that coming out of this, in going into the post-show and the recovery and things like that, which we'll probably tap into a bit of this in this conversation today, feeling really hopeful in my capabilities coming out of it and doing it really successfully, just purely because that food noise is so low. And I think that's the hardest part for a lot of competitors, my own self, is dealing with the food noise coming out of show where the constant eating off plan, going to restaurants, the temptations, it makes it really hard. And that's where we see a lot of people gain weight. So the fact that that's intact, I'm feeling really hopeful. Hunger, I've always been good at embracing hunger. When food is just constantly at the forefront of my brain, I'm thinking about how tasty food is. To me, that's an issue. Yeah. So, but let's get into this, and we can even give you guys strategies tailing on from what I've just been talking about. Going first into this, why would you say it matters for people to know actually how to sustain fat loss? Like, why is it important? Why can't people just lose the fat and then cool, they've hit the fat goal?
I think that's the whole problem in itself, is that most people go into a diet thinking, okay, I'm going to lose this fat. And then they think it's just going to magically stay off because they haven't actually built the habits or been educated around how to maintain this fat loss. And when you have been dieting for a long time as well, your body, there is this thing called metabolic adaptation. Your body is so much more prone to gaining that fat back once you finish a long state of dieting. It's almost like your body wants that fat back. It's used to having it. So if you're not careful and if you're not properly like educated and following a solid approach to actually maintain this fat loss, it's going to come back on really fucking easy because you're just going back to your old habits. You haven't actually learned how to maintain this fat loss. And so many people, that is where we see so many women get stuck in this constant cycle of like losing 5 to 10 kilos over and over and over again.
Yo-yo dieting.
Yeah, all the time, because they finish the diet and they think it just ends there because no one talks about the diet after the diet. And that is where so many people go wrong. A lot of people lose weight, but not a lot of people keep it off.
Yeah, I think that's why it's super important as well, which we spoke about in the last episode, which I love that we both align on our coaching values and philosophy and how we do this, that we want to see you actually build the skills and behaviors before we throw you into a fat loss.
Oh, yeah.
Because if we don't do that, the likely chance of you just going in, let's just drop your calories super low with no actual fundamental skills built into a lifestyle change, you are more than likely going to gain the weight back. And that's why it is important that we do these habit building phases first with you, because we're trying to change your lifestyle. The reason why you got to where you are in the first place is because of your lifestyle choices, right? So us just slapping an 8-week diet on it is not fixing the problem. We as coaches, that's what coaching is. Anyone can give you macros. ChatGPT can give you macros. Wouldn't recommend it. But the whole point is we first need to change your lifestyle habits and behaviors. You need to do the inner work. It's slower, it's harder, and essentially it's work that most people don't want to do because everyone wants a quick fix these days. Shit, that's why everyone's jumping on fucking Redder, right?
Yep.
No one wants to do the work. But I think what goes deeper than that is you then first actually need to look at your values, because most people that want that quick fix have really shitty character, in my opinion. And I made a reel about this and I posted it this morning that fat loss successful fat loss anyway, goes beyond aesthetics. It is character building shit right here. Like if you can actually build the fundamentals and the lifestyle habits, you're going to build some really good characteristics about yourself and your mindset and your mentality. So this is where, in order for you, this is one of the key traits. If you want to keep fat loss off long term, you got to stop looking at it like an 8-week challenge. You got to start looking at this shit as what lifestyle changes do I need to make? Stop focusing on the fucking number, your deficit. Yes, that's the principle of it. But you actually need to look at, where are you fucking up? Is it your weekends? Is it your environment, the people you surround yourself with? Is it, the poor, you don't have any cooking skills? Like, where are you fucking lacking? Because slapping a deficit is just not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Long term.
I love that you said that, because I totally agree. And this is something I do with a lot of my clients. It's the identity work around fat loss. It is so much more than just calories and numbers. You have to change your fucking identity. You have to start showing up as the woman that you want to be. If you want to lose 10 kilos, you have to act like the version of you that has lost 10 kilos. Does she skip the gym when she's busy? No, probably fucking not. Does she skip meal prep because she wants to binge watch the new fucking dinosaur documentary on Netflix? Because that's what I've been doing.
Paul was like, can we watch this? I'm like,
so
no.
good.
I'm like, I'm not watching that.
It's fucking so good. I made Stu watch it. That's so funny.
That's funny.
But yeah, you have to step into the identity of the person that you want to become, and that is how you become her. And that is how you're going to actually maintain your results afterwards. Because anyone can go into a fucking 12-week cut and eat chicken and lettuce for lunch and dinner and lose the fat. But then what happens after? What happens after?
Yeah. And you got to ask yourself that. And that's where your foundation matters. And that is the foundation, actually building the lifestyle. That is your number one step in anything we talk about. You need to build the foundation and the lifestyle first. Then when we're looking at why these diets fail long term, this can come down to the protocols that you put in place for this diet. And this is why having a professional in your corner to actually be the strategist to ensure you are setting yourself up for success, not being one of these girls that's going, oh, fuck that, I can do it myself. I don't need to invest in a coach. I'm just going to put myself on 1,200 calories. Happens more than you think. Might be you listening to this right now. And then what happens is, because your calories are way too low for you, and more than likely, I think a common thing a lot of girls also do is they're doing way too much cardio on top of this. So not only are they losing fat, they're probably losing a shit ton of muscle as well from too much output, too little food, and more than likely putting some very restrictive rules in place around food as well. Like, your life shouldn't have to be fucking miserable to lose fat. Only if you're 6 weeks out from show, then it's got to become miserable. But
that's a whole different
it probably won't feel miserable if you're psychotic and you fucking love it like me. I'm thriving it. Yeah, it's fucking hard. If anyone else does, probably like, this is the most depressing thing ever. But if you're just doing that as a lifestyle, suffering like that, and it's not even intentional suffering, there's no actual science to back it behind it. It's just you suffering and being disordered as fuck. That is not lifestyle, right? And that's what we're talking about here. It is lifestyle.
Yeah.
What would you say are some of the most common mistakes that you've probably seen with some of your clients or girls that have come to you that maybe have gained weight back from maybe trying to lose weight themselves but couldn't sustain it?
I think the biggest problem is that most diets are designed for short-term fat loss. So there's so many diets out there, like keto, paleo, the 1,200 calorie diets, all this shit, like cutting out food groups, extremely low calories, cardio every day. All of these diets essentially do the same thing. They put you into a calorie deficit. That's all it is. Like, there's no magic behind any of these special diets. They all just put you into a calorie deficit. So why not do that in a way that is actually sustainable, that you can actually somewhat enjoy, that you can show up to every single day? And maybe it might be a little bit slower, but it means that you can adhere to it. And then when you come out of it, you have built the lifestyle habits to actually keep that fat off.
Everyone's always in a rush.
Yeah. What's the rush?
Always in a rush.
What's the rush?
The biggest mistake as well, and I reckon you've probably had this numerous times, girls will come to me, I really want to lose fat. This is the goal. Okay, cool. Yep. And my wedding is in 8 weeks. And I'm like, pfft.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't even know what a fucking macro is. Yeah. You want me to help you lose X amount of weight 8 weeks before an event.
All the time.
So this is also the problem. Stop leaving these goals till last minute.
Yeah.
Okay. If you like, I always refer everything back to prep because bodybuilding, I just love the principles of bodybuilding. If I'm putting someone on stage, they're working with me for at least 12 months before I put them on stage.
Absolutely.
And there's a fucking reason for that. Because, well, one, if we're just purely talking about me being able to get them in condition, let's just put in that perspective. There's numerous reasons why someone has to work with me long term, but let's just keep it on topic. To get them in conditioning, I need to be able to get their calories as high as I fucking can, build up their metabolism to the best point that I can, and have as much muscle on their body so that when I have to diet them to dick skin fucking nothing, I've got room to do it with. Because there's no fucking way I'm going to be able to prep someone with only trying to prime their metabolism 8 or 6 weeks prior. It's not going to happen, right? Because us competitors, we have to get disgustingly lean. And the thing is, what do you think makes your fat loss goals any different, right? Us bodybuilders, okay, we're taking, people that do it properly, let's say that, we're taking like minimum 12-month off seasons, right? And there's a reason for that, because if we don't, we're not getting shredded coming into the next show because we haven't had time to actually build up our calories, right? So this is why time away from dieting is also important. You can't just keep dieting. And the thing is, if you're going to do a dieting phase, guess what? You're going to be doing a maintenance or some sort of reverse phase to follow after, because that's how you're going to sustain it. I think a lot of people think, I'm going to do a fat loss phase. They've never done a maintenance. And how many girls have you ever had come to you saying, well, I got experience tracking. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, only in a deficit.
Yeah.
They've never, like, no one places any value on this because it's boring. Mm-hmm. And I actually had a girl say to me, she sent me a voice memo last week. She came off the bat of doing a diet and she still has fat that she wants to lose. She's not quite happy, but she doesn't have a maintenance calories in a high enough point alongside having her lifestyle factors, stress-free and stable environment that's going to allow us to really knuckle down and get that fat off without her losing the plot. Mm-hmm. And anyway, so we're in what I like to call a metabolic build, which is essentially like a reverse diet where we're trying to build up her calories while sustain current body fat levels to set her up for a future fat loss, right? This is how we're getting her shredded. We got to play the long game. And she said, I feel so shit about myself. I feel like I'm not making any progress. Like, I feel like I just look the same. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. You're meant to look the fucking same right now. I said, the work that we're doing right now, you're not meant to physically see it. Mm-hmm. It's internal. You can't see your fucking metabolism. You can on paper what we're doing, but you're not meant to be seeing changes. Stop dictating your fucking worth based on if you're seeing physical changes or not. They're not going to be happening yet. Yep. You actually need to be this person you are now and embrace it so that we can get you to the other one. And I said to her, I was like, putting this physical change that you're dictating that you're not making any progress, I was like, tell me, what have you done? Like, you've been doing all your gym sessions, you've smashed your 90% adherence of your meal plan. Like, tell me, what are some things that go beyond the aesthetic realm
100%.
of you, of what you've done? She's like, oh, I guess I've been doing this. She's like, I've showed up better than ever. Like, I'm performing my lifts, but I'm like, right, you just because you don't feel like you're seeing any physical change, take away from your fucking journey, send me a sob message, a victim message, because you were like, oh, things aren't working. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, feel sorry for you and go, oh, it's okay, but I'll put you in a fat loss. Yeah. No, I'm not going to fucking do that. Yep. And anyway, I sent her a voice memo, gave her a good pep talk and explained, absolutely, this is the situation right now. You want us to get to where you are. You got to embrace being her right now. Mm-hmm. We're not done yet. Like, this isn't the final product. Yeah. And she's like, you're a real life angel. She's like, holy shit, I never thought about it like that way. She's like, I feel so much better and motivated about what I'm doing. I'm like, frame of mindset's everything. And so many of you fucking girls are falling into this trap because you're not seeing physical changes when maybe you're in a phase that your coach has literally said, we're not focusing on fat loss right now.
Yeah, progress is so much more
This is setting you up for fat loss. Yep. Stop weighing yourself 5 times a day. Stop checking yourself in the mirror. That's not the focus right now.
Yeah.
You are stealing the joy out of your fucking journey by doing this. Take a moment to actually think, how are you showing up in your life? What are the things you're doing? Because just because you're not seeing the physical changes, that does not mean that you are not being successful right now. Like, showing up in a maintenance, honestly, I have more fucking admiration for a client that can show up and do a fat loss phase properly, adhere to the plan, not be thrown off based on reactiveness to their emotions because maybe they're feeling a bit chunkier one day. Truly show the fuck up and embrace it and do it well. Because so many people, it's not motivating. They don't see physical changes. So they almost don't even want to adhere to it because they think, oh, it's not that serious.
Mm-hmm. There is a lot of power in maintenance.
There's a lot of fucking power in maintenance.
I feel like people either have two phases or like two modes. It's either diet mode or completely off the fucking rails.
Yes.
Like fat loss is not about being in a calorie deficit forever. Fat loss phases are supposed to be short phases.
They're strategic.
Temporary.
Yeah.
And if you're a bodybuilder or if you're someone who's just wanting to build a jacked physique, fat loss is where you should spend the least amount of your time. You should spend most of your time either in maintenance or building. You should not be in a fat loss phase fucking on and off 8 weeks at a time, 8 weeks on throughout the entire year. Like you're setting yourself up to failure.
Failure. You said to failure. You're setting up to show failure. You start talking baby language.
And this is where we see those like binge restrict cycles start to come up as well because they're just constantly stuck like in this diet mindset.
And again, always going back to bodybuilding. My life is bodybuilding right now. Within my 10-year journey, besides probably the first 2 years of, I don't know what I was doing the first 2 years, but I was trying to figure it out as most do.
We're all just trying to figure it out.
Figuring it out. We'll scratch those. Throughout my time of tracking calories over the last 8-7 years, what have it's been, 70% of that time has been at maintenance or building. I'd say about 60% is building. I'm either cutting or I'm bulking.
Yeah.
But that is the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it should be. I want you to ask yourself right now, what is your percentage out of 100 out of the time that you've learned about calories and you've been tracking? If you could honestly ask yourself what you reckon the percentage is of dieting with non-dieting phases. And I'm not talking blowing out. I'm not dieting now, so I'm just not going to track.
Yeah.
What is the percentage? And if fat loss is more than 50%, that's why you're not losing fat. That's why you're stuck. And I can tell you right now, anyone listening to this that has the maintenance or builds over the 50%, they've probably had much more success with their fat loss. It's weird how that works, isn't it? It sounds almost a bit wrong, but I'm telling you right now, that is the reality. The people that are thinking long-term and not getting caught up on being reactive to their emotions and getting a dopamine hit from seeing the latest 8-week challenge that just popped up and going, oh, I just need to jump on that, even though it's your fifth fucking one. There's a problem if that's your fifth fucking one. That is a fucking problem right there. So if you are less than that 50%, I want you to sit back and think deeply about that and ask yourself, am I happy with my progress? Because if you're not, you need to start looking within. And it's probably time you go see a fucking professional to start helping you because your life is not worth spending constantly back and forth yo-yo dieting. Your life is worth more than that, especially if you're a mum. You got kids, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't you want to be a role model for your kids? I know for sure I grew up with my mum being very disordered. I saw my mum, sorry to out your mum, but I saw my mum going through crazy weight losses, like very quickly, shredding to nothing, to then blowing and putting it all back on twice as worse. That's all I saw. And I would see my mum have an apple for lunch. Like my mum grew up in that era where, you know, there was all that bullshit going around.
That was crazy.
That's all I knew. I remember when I started fucking getting to the gym, you don't want to get too muscly, yeah? Fuck off. Like, think about the role model you want to be.
Yeah.
Like, because that's who you're leading as well. Like, it sounds cliche we're talking about this, but I need you girls to actually think about your fucking life here because this shit we're talking about right now, this affects everything. This affects your whole quality of life, your relationships, your self-worth, your belief, your confidence. It goes beyond fucking aesthetics. You really need to start thinking, how are you living your life? And how is it potentially impacting how you show up in your day-to-day life?
Before you even enter a fat loss phase, you should spend some time at maintenance first. Make sure that you can actually stick to a training program consistently. Track your food at least 90% of the time. Stick to your meal plan at least 90% of the time. Have structure around your meals. Get your breakfast, lunch, and dinner in. Learn how to actually hit your protein target. all of these things, putting these things in place first before you even start the diet is how you're going to keep the weight off after. These are the lifestyle habits that we're talking about. This is the identity that we're talking about. You have to live and breathe this shit before you start the fucking diet. You don't start thinking about, okay, how am I going to keep this fat off after you get the fat off? No, you put this foundation in place first. That's how you're going to keep it off in the long term, because then it's just your lifestyle. You're not thinking about it anymore. You're not waking up thinking, oh, should I go to the gym today, or I need to hit my protein today? Like, no, it's just who the fuck you are. That is how people lose 20, 30. I've seen women lose 50 kilos and keep that shit off because they've transformed who they are at their core. They've made it their lifestyle.
Yeah. I think that's the reality as well. You can't essentially have your cake being your most fucking unhealthiest lifestyle where you
like
take
if it
out
got you to where you are now, it's not going to get you out.
Your cake being you're eating out 5 times a week, drinking, having a wine at dinner every night. You cannot have those short-term satisfactions that make you feel so good and warm and fuzzy in the moment and then say you want a physique and, oh, look at that girl, I want that, because that girl ain't doing that. She ain't doing that. And I say, girls say to me all the time, I hear it all the time, go out and I'm in a social setting, oh, wow, like you look amazing. Like, oh, I would love to look like that. And I just think like you can.
Yeah.
Like you can.
Yeah.
And it's like almost people think I'm not working my ass off to be where I am though.
Yeah, like just genetically blessed.
I am working so fucking hard.
Yeah, 100%.
Like obviously even outside prep, when I'm not even in prep, I don't eat out and drink every weekend. I don't. I keep it to a minimum because one, it just doesn't interest me. I'm happy with my grilled burger once a week on a Friday night at Paul.
Fuck yes.
Like I don't feel the need to go out and do that all the time. I like getting 8 hours sleep every night. That's very important to me.
Same.
Like, and then you hear so many girls going and having fucking benders on the weekend, 3 hours sleep. Oh, back to the gym on Monday.
Yeah.
Like that is not going to allow you to be that girl. You cannot have that cake and eat too. But also ask yourself, going a bit off topic, why do you think you feel the need to live a life like that? What void are you trying to fill? What are you missing? Because I've been that girl. I've been there.
I could go down this road so
I have been there. And all I know is when I was that girl, I didn't have crazy big aspirations or goals. I didn't have a lot of self-love like I did now.
Yep.
And I didn't have the stability and values that I did now. So I think if you're like, I want to lose fat, like I said at the start, you got to get your values checked. Your values, until your values are in the right spot, it starts there, which is a whole nother ball game.
Yeah,
but
that could be a whole other episode.
Another ball game. But let's just say we come out of the diet. Okay, the diet's finished. The biggest mistake that I see is people planning too many social events around food after diet.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. That is setting you up for success. Like Sandra spoke about before, we have metabolic adaptations. As you go deeper into a diet, these get a bit more enhanced. You get a bit more hungrier, you get a bit more food focused. You obviously maybe are just like, oh, I haven't been out and had a drink in so long. You have this bit of an itch that you want to scratch. You need to be diligent and understand that if you truly care about sustaining, if it's important that you want to sustain this fat loss, you need to be strategic.
Yeah, the work's not done there.
Just because you came out of a fat loss, right? Let's just say I always say to people, I say in prep, let's just say you did not just recently do a diet, right? Let's pretend these metabolic adaptations do not exist. Would you be going out and eating out 3 times a week usually? Would you be going to get that big extra slice of dessert after your meal?
Yeah.
And if you wouldn't, no, it's only like because I'm craving it. That's all I can think about. Don't do it. Try and bring back to normal lifestyle behaviors. Understand and communicate to people around you because it's not silly and it's not fucking disordered. And I'm going to say that right fucking now.
Yes.
If your friend has just come out of a diet and they've said to you, hey, I don't want to go out for any social meals yet because I really want to ease into it. My food focus is up a little bit. I want to slowly bring back up my food in a sustainable way. That's not fucking disordered.
Yeah, no, there's actually so much power in that.
They are simply just wanting to look after their health and physique goals.
Yeah.
Right? They're not at home fucking eating 1,200 calories. They're eating food. They are eating their maintenance calories. They just don't want to go out for fucking dinner.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And if your friends can't support that and say, oh, come on, you're not dieting anymore. Come on, your diet's finished. No, fuck that shit. No. Do what you want to do. Don't be the people pleaser, because the
100%.
people pleaser is the one that always you don't make it, right? You need to be in control. So get your values and priorities straight and set a plan in place after. So have a plan. I always say post-show. Have a plan after the diet.
Yeah.
Have a plan.
Yeah.
Map it out. And it
Stay
might,
with your coach.
yeah, it might be, okay, we're going to start implementing one social meal a week.
Yeah, that's an approach I like to take.
Yep. And it might be something that is easy to eye off. It might be your grill burger. It could be GYG. It might be you go out for a nice steak and some veg and maybe share some ice cream after.
A fucking double bacon cheeseburger.
No, it doesn't.
You got to pick and choose.
Yeah.
And once you have lived this healthy lifestyle, there's no going back.
Nah,
you just need to make it your lifestyle. Like, just keep pushing. Like, I know going to the gym and doing all these things and meal prepping, it might feel like a chore right now, but it's not going to feel that way forever.
Yeah.
Because just like you got to this position where you're in now, where your unhealthy habits are just a part of your lifestyle, you don't even think twice about them. Once you have been practicing this shit long enough, your healthy habits are going to feel exactly the same. Yeah. Like, Amanda and I don't wake up every day and think about, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that. Like, no, we just fucking do it because we've been doing it for so long, and that is how we have standout physiques.
Yeah.
It just becomes who you are. It becomes second nature. You just have to keep grinding until you actually get to that place. And once you get there, there's no fucking going back.
Yeah.
There's no going back. It's so much better on this side.
Becomes a part of your identity.
It does.
And one thing, like, I was thinking about this other day, and this is even outside prep, guys. I wake up and I don't question what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't question what I'm eating that day.
Mm-hmm.
I just fucking know, because I take away decision fatigue. Repetition there, it's all in the reps. The more volume of reps you do, the more habitual something feels. And when we can take away decision fatigue, things feel a lot easier. They feel a lot less stressful. You don't procrastinate as much, because when you don't know what you're doing, that's when your procrastination is going to kick in. You need to have a fucking plan at all costs. And it's more important than ever after a diet. So the biggest thing is, don't only be motivated for the diet. Be motivated to maintain that shit if it's important to you. So when we're doing this, you need to also keep in mind that we don't want to go just because you've got more calories now, you're in your maintenance, your hunger is going to still be high, okay? Don't go start adding the fucking Biscoff spread and the fucking, Nutella into your diet and shit just yet. Don't even have it in the house. If you find that you're quite hungry after the diet and your food was a bit high, be smart. Don't have that shit in the house for maybe the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Bring up the volume of your current foods and maybe gradually implement those foods.
100%.
Set yourself a success. Set your environment. Don't leave chockies on the fucking counter because, I'm not dieting anymore. Yeah. No, bro. Yeah. Self-sabotage 180.
The work ain't done. The work ain't done. And this
first time we're like, do we go? Not talk.
This is where I like reverse dieting. This is where I like to
What is reverse dieting?
Reverse dieting is gradually increasing your calories after a dieting phase. Yep. So when it comes to my clients personally, there are a few ways that you can do this. Usually what gets spoken about online is like a 50 to 150 calorie increase each week, but it really does depend on the person. But I like this approach. Honestly, I find it more beneficial for psychological reasons than physiological reasons. And obviously, when it comes to comp prep athletes, this is a completely different story.
Very different.
Very, very different.
We're talking lifestyle.
Stage lean is not sustainable. No. You want to get that body fat back on. But when it comes to a general population fat loss journey, and notice how I'm saying fat loss maintenance as well and not weight loss maintenance. Something that I see so often, and I just want to say this once and say it again. The weight that you are at when you finish your diet is not your true weight.
Yes.
Your calories are low. You are fucking depleted.
Yes.
You have less food volume in your digestive system.
Gut mass and glycogen, baby.
Yeah. Once you start eating normally again, your weight is going to increase. Don't confuse that for fat loss.
I always say to people, I'm like, we're getting to this weight, but you're actually going to be about an extra 1.5.
Same. I give them a warning. I'm like, your weight is going to go up.
This is not it, yeah?
Exactly. So that is the difference between fat loss maintenance and weight loss maintenance. Your weight is going to go up 1 to 2 kilos once you start eating normally again. That is normal. But back to reverse dieting. So yes, this is gradually increasing your calories after a diet. to allow your metabolism and your mind to just kind of adjust slowly to having more food. Because if you increase your calories by 500 after you've just been eating 1,700 calories every single day, it's going to feel a lot harder psychologically to not put Nutella and Biscoff on everything.
She's like, I got all this extra calories.
Exactly.
So the reason, and it's context dependent, I think the reverse diet could work really well for someone. So we're not, for maybe I would say actually a amateur dieter, especially because I think by the gradual increase, it doesn't let them take their foot off the gas.
Yeah, it maintains structure.
Yep. It's maintained structure. They don't get, I've got all these extra calories. It's a gradual way of going back. And it essentially allows you, because essentially having the word still diet in it, reverse diet, it really ensures we're not taking the foot off the gas.
Yeah.
And we're doing it in a sustainable way. And look, if you're a lifestyle client, especially if you're under one of us, we're not getting you so lean that you don't have your fucking period. You can reverse diet. I mean, if your coach does and you're a lifestyle and you've lost your period, red flag, go get a new coach. But yes.
Yeah, I love a reverse diet. Like most of my girls will reverse diet because it really just helps with that transition mentally and physically. One, because you're not going to see such a crazy spike on the scale as well. And two, like I said, I think it's really the psychological benefits. Still having that structure, having only an extra 100 calories that week, then maybe another extra 100 calories the next week. I find with my girls, it really just helps them maintain the level of structure they have with their meals. They'll just slowly increase their portions, maybe start adding some more veggies to help combat some of that hunger that they might be feeling. It's the best way to do it, and I highly recommend it, especially if you've been dieting for a long time. Reverse dieting is the way to go. Gradually build that shit back up.
Yeah, I've really gotten around reverse dieting for lifestyle clients in my last few years of coaching and for the exact same benefits you've spoken about. And I've done, bringing lifestyle clients up, the 500 straight into maintenance. And some I find, like some are more experienced dieters that are not fuckwits around food and they have good, discipline, good identity around it. But I think for a lot of people, so we're not getting complacent.
Yeah.
It's a really smart way to go about it. And, one thing though I will say about, let's say my more, I'll call them intermediate dieters, people that aren't amateurs around food and really good nutrition literacy, bringing them out of deficit and then straight into maintenance. What we can see, ones that obviously set it up properly, make good food choices and whatnot, is we're obviously expecting the 1.5 kilo increase from the gut mass and glycogen.
Yep.
More times than often, what we'll see within the first week is actually hit another new low.
Yep.
And they're like, what the hell? And I was like, feeling a bit more full of beans lately? You're starting to bounce out of your chair a bit more? And they're like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, your TDE has gone up. So what we can actually see sometimes is when we increase the food, especially in the first few weeks, rather than actually seeing an increase of scale weight, not always, but, person dependent, is your NEAT level, so your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, will start bringing back up again. You'll probably just start talking more, walking more, blinking more. You're just not so reserved. You've got this energy back with all the extra carbohydrates that what was actually meant to be your maintenance because you were so fucking depleted and slow-mo, now that you've got full of beans again, is actually not your maintenance anymore. And guess what? The beautiful thing is you get to increase food again, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So that is the beauty of it. And what we can also sometimes see as well, especially if maybe towards the end of the diet, you're a bit depleted, maybe stress is high because you're pushing at the end, maybe you have a bit of inflammation. What carbohydrates can be great is they can sometimes act as an anti-inflammatory response, washes out a lot of water, inflammation. So not only, hey, maybe you're actually moving more, maintenance is high, but maybe you've actually washed out a bit of inflammation and stress there too.
Yeah. And it's going to help you find your new maintenance as well. Because obviously if you've been dieting, the more weight that you've lost, you are a smaller person now. You are burning less calories at rest. Your maintenance before is not your same maintenance now.
I'm fighting to try and carry it a deficit.
And it might even be beneficial to reverse diet to slowly find that new maintenance again rather than just throwing a random number out of your ass and trying to guess and then maybe risking that rapid weight gain.
Yeah, it's just in literally both situations, it's all about having a plan.
It is. Everything's always about having a plan. Yeah, failure to plan is planning to fail.
Yeah.
I love that shit. I always say that to my clients.
You hear it all the time, but it fucking works, man.
You got to plan everything. You got to plan everything. Just like you wouldn't wing your fat loss phase, or well, you shouldn't wing your fat loss phase. You don't want to wing the diet after the diet as well. because that is where so many people go wrong. The statistics to how many people gain fat back after they have lost it and actually regain more is fucking crazy. Like, it's actually wild.
Yeah.
More people need to talk about this. You need to be educated on this. And it really, everything that we have said in this whole episode so far comes down to one thing. It's having a plan and building the right habits in place to be able to maintain for the long term.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And look, I think touching on the other realm, like we've obviously spoken about fat loss for lifestyle, but it's not the same if you do a show. So, for example, when we obviously push the boundaries of getting stage lean, we're pushing to an unhealthy body fat percentage. I don't like reverse dieting competitors. The only time I'm going to reverse diet a competitor is if maybe we're doing multiple shows, we're in a good position. I might reverse them into the show, which is a great way to do it, especially if you've got a competitor that is ready to go moving into the shows. But the key goal is after a show, you got to get healthy again.
Yeah, stage condition is not healthy, guys.
Yeah. So what I like to do is go straight into a recovery diet, which is essentially, in another terminology, it's calorie surplus, guys.
Yeah.
So the whole purpose of this recovery diet is we need to get your body fat percentage back up to a healthy range. It is going to be person dependent here because everyone has a different natural settling point. Some people naturally maintain leaner physiques all round. Some people naturally hold a bit more body fat and that's where their body feels most comfortable. It is going to be different, but good rule of thumb, we're probably looking anywhere from like 5 to 10% within the first 6 to 8 weeks after show. We want to get that fucking weight back on, right? So when we do this, we obviously don't just want to go, hey, you're in a calorie surplus and hit your calories, off you go. We still need guidelines more than ever coming out of a show because the metabolic adaptations, things we're talking about, way worse for a competitor. Mm-hmm. Think about it. We are like, our body is screaming at us that we are not in a healthy spot. So this is where, again, going back to those pillars of having your home environment set up for success with your food, super important. Not having a bunch of fucking 10 events planned after show and having all your mates ask you to come out for dinner after, also not great.
Yeah, set some boundaries in place.
Yeah. If you're a first-time competitor, it's harder. And you know what? I don't encourage it, but I also don't want a first-time competitor to feel shameful if things don't go to plan because it's your first-time experience and hormones and metabolic adaptations, they are fucking powerful, okay? But that also does come down to your mentality and your mindset. If you can truly tell yourself and believe that you are a bodybuilder, you are a fucking athlete, set that strong intention. Do the best job that you can, okay? If your friends are all asking, let's go out for dinner, let's go out for drinks, your body's naturally going to want to say yes because you haven't been able to do that in such a long fucking time. And you might do it once a week. You know, I actually encourage a lot of my clients post-show to go and have a social meal once a week. But then I have some clients that it might be actually bad for them. Again, this is person dependent. This is why having a coach who knows you is super important. That for myself, I'm going to use myself as an example. My last show, the food noise got high last show. And I said to all my friends, I even said to Paul, I was like, I don't want to go out for any dinners for the first 4 or 6 weeks. I was like, I need time. I said, I don't want to be in an environment where there's temptations around because I'm not ready. I was like, I was already, and Jill actually did that one really fucking well in the sense that I would overeat maybe 200-300 calories here and there throughout the first 4 weeks, but it was on fruit, rice cakes. I was just eating extra food. But because my body just wanted food, it was a bottomless pit. It just wanted food, right? Yes. So how smart would that be going to fucking, oh my God, and I'm a bottomless pit. At least if I'm at home and I've got all this food, I'm eating foods that aren't going to blow me out by 1,000. I've just put all this weight back on that I was meant to gain in the space of, a few months. I was able to control my environment. And I knew when the food noise started coming down, I wasn't picking at shit anymore. I was able to go, I can actually go out for a meal at a restaurant and I can enjoy it. I'm not thinking about the food that's coming out. Yeah. And that's why I want to go out for a social meal. I don't want to go out for a social meal because I'm hyper-fixating on food. 100%. That takes away from the experience. I want to go out because I want to sit there and I want to have a chat with my partner. I want to yarn with my friends. I don't want to be focused on what's on the fucking table. Yeah. Right? So that's because I'm very self-aware though. So for me, even now, that's who I am. But for other people, it is very different. But yes, we need to get the body fat back on, but we also need to look at your digestive system. Mm-hmm. Your body has probably been very limited to a small amount of foods, and for good reason, of course. But that's also going to come at a cost of now having some gut motility issues. Your digestive enzymes, they're not exactly where they were. So don't go adding in 10 new fucking foods, because guess what? You're going to cause some fucking issues. And this is where I like to set not a rule, but a guideline. Add in 2 new foods every single week. Gradually build back up that variety. Give your digestive system a chance to catch up with you, because that's also going to allow you to ensure that you're not getting bloated, that you're not getting pain, and you're actually allowing your body to start processing those new foods and actually absorb the nutrient profile of these foods.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important. But I know we don't have long on this potty, but I feel like that gives a bit of insight into the athlete realm, which I'm sure it won't be the last time we speak about that. Sandra, what would you say is probably more the identity shift that people need if they want to sustain fat loss?
Like we have been saying this whole episode, it all comes down to your daily habits. You are a product of your daily habits. Your physique is a reflection of the shit that you do every single day. And it really does come down to the basics. Getting your training sessions in, hitting your fucking protein, building awareness around food and education around nutrition. It sounds so simple and it sounds not sexy, and you can't sell and market this shit, but that is really what it comes down to. The basic, boring, simple shit that you do day after day after day. That is how you build the identity of someone who has achieved an amazing fat loss transformation and actually is able to keep that weight off. That goes for bodybuilding as well. You have to step into the identity of a bodybuilder if you want to do a fucking show. Like, these things are, everything is so identity driven. If you set a big goal for yourself, you have to become the person who has achieved that goal in order to achieve it, because the things that got you here are not the things that are going to get you there.
Agreed. Well said. I'm very big on that. And every show, even my last one, if there was ever moments where I feel like I wasn't aligning with my identity, I would say, what does a pro bodybuilder do?
Yes.
How does a pro bodybuilder carry themselves? Would they be under eating their calories next day because they blew out and were a bit silly the day before? No, they get straight back on track. They pull that shit in. You dial that shit in. And even now, my identity as a pro bodybuilder has grown even more, and coming out into my 3rd post show very, very soon with only, 8 weeks left. I am very excited for how I'm coming into this. And I think because I have some big goals coming outside this to put my focus in, I couldn't even care about the food that's coming. I'm excited for the life that I get to put more effort and energy in coming in. I think that's important, having goals outside just your aesthetic goals.
Yeah, 100%. You don't want to have the mindset of, I want to lose 5 kilos. You want to have the mindset of just, I am someone who goes into the gym. I am someone who meal preps. I'm someone who eats healthy. Keep reminding yourself of the person that you want to be to become the person who has achieved that goal. And that's how you're going to maintain your results.
Yeah, well said. Guys, if you loved this episode, please make sure to share it with a friend. If you know someone that maybe has been struggling with fat loss to keep it off and you feel like they could really use our insight, send this to them. Like, we're trying to help up and set a standard for the women's health and fitness space. So by you sharing, following, you help us get our message out more. And essentially we get to build an awesome online community with you guys.
And as always, if you have any questions or topics you want us to cover, feel free to send us a message.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of In Between Sets Unfiltered.
If you love this episode, make sure you subscribe, share it with a friend, and tag us so we can thank you for tuning in.
And if you're ready to train with more intention, confidence, and real standards,
you are exactly where you need to be.
We'll see you in between sets.